It's funny, I'm actually really calm, because I sincerely think I'm gonna fail. You guys believing you're just gonna get let down.
Bro, that must have stung Dark Viper's ego so hard, seeing all of these bloody articles getting written about it. Right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I always like to keep my eyes open.
Why did I move here?
To see if there's any other angles we can get in at people that the channel seem to like. Okay? One of those people that's come up recently is, of course, DarkViperAU. And as you may remember, when I had my little copyright issues with DarkViperAU, I went on a little look at some of his kind of background, should we say. And I found some very interesting coverage of a particular drama that we touched on. Sorry, I'm getting it wrong. I found a bunch of shit that he did that was crazy. There's one particular drama with a particular YouTuber, a particular speedrunner, that we looked at a bit, and that was that really, okay? However, now someone has released a video going over the entire history of this drama with Dark Viper, and also that they've also done is shown a bit more of this unnamed guy. So I thought we'd give it a watch and we'll see what the deal is as a little cheeky palate cleanser and possibly a second channel segment if DK so believes that's the case. So let's get into it.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather.
GTA 5 released in 2013 and quickly went on to become one of the greatest games of all time. But with an average playthrough time of over 36 hours, most people wouldn't consider it a very good game for speedrunning. Spending thousands of hours learning the route of a speedrun that could take you an entire day to finish was a challenge that a lot of people didn't dare to try. However, that challenge didn't stop players from running, and for years the game has had a very healthy speedrunning competition. But among the thousands of players that have submitted times lies one runner that has gone on to dominate nearly every speedrun category the game has to offer, and even made widespread news with his very first run. This is the story of Unnamed, and how he became the most dominant speedrunner in GTA 5's history. But to do this, we first have to go back to March of 2020.
Here we go, guys.
At the start of that year, GTA 5 speedrunning was in a very competitive state. Runners like Burhack.
This video is a bit boring. Well, should I turn it off then? Should we stop watching it? Bro, what do you mean, dude? I'm here, and I'm high energy today. I'm not phoning it in. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to roll, okay? Let's have at it.
Saurus, and Dry Ice were all setting record times in different categories. But while all of that was going on, another runner who had set dozens of previous—
Just leave already. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, okay? I've got 2 hours and 45 minutes before I need to leave. And every time someone makes a negative comment, that time is going to be shaved down by 1 minute.
world records, turned his sights on a completely new challenge that seemed nearly impossible. And that man is someone that you might know.
Yo, there he is, Dark Viper. I don't think Dark Viper has got the mental fortitude to do a no-hit speedrun, personally. I think he's just too spurgy to do it, you know? But we'll see, we'll see. Let's see how he gets on. I think we know the answer to this already, don't we? But anyway.
DarkViperAU.
Welcome to my attempt at a no-hit run of GTA 5. I modded my game so that any damage would kill me.
Well, hang on a minute. No. He did do it, but Unnamed did it first, right? Like, if I remember correctly, spoiler alert, Unnamed did it before him, despite the fact that he tried for ages to do it. Unnamed came in and swooped it from him, basically, and he was very upset about that.
Not even armor or Trevor's special ability would save me. Of course, my end goal is to eventually beat the entire game without dying a single time, although there are many obstacles, as you will soon see.
The challenge run would officially be named OKO, or One Hit KO.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure this video is going to be all of his spurgs about it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think it's going to be.
The premise was simple. Beat GTA 5 without taking any damage. Get hit by a car too hard, take fall damage, or get shot even a single time, and you fail the challenge. In some ways, you could actually consider this the most realistic way of playing GTA 5. But although it might seem simple in premise, this is far from a simple challenge. If you've ever played a GTA game before, then you know that the game is essentially trying to kill you at all times.
Yeah.
And this is especially true with GTA 5. In fact, it's thanks to Oko that we got this legendary clip.
No!
What? There aren't cougars in missions!
With how tough of a challenge this was, Dark Viper knew that this challenge would become one of the most prestigious feats in the entire GTA franchise, and knowing that gave him the motivation to try and be the first to complete it. Dark Viper and his community would start coming up with new strategies specifically for this challenge, which is how they found the most useful trick in the entire run: alt strats. Alt strats is simple. The Alt key on PC brings up the character select menu, and a weird quirk was discovered when holding this menu open. If you lock your game at 110 FPS or higher, then bullets won't spawn in while this menu is open, meaning you can walk around without the fear of getting shot.
No way!
It was a pretty controversial strategy, but ultimately it was still allowed due to how hard this challenge was. With extra help from Mac and Will Heisel, as well as a lot of help from Arham, who was also attempting the challenge himself.
Well, I mean, you got to understand, in like the speedrunning community, like there's going to be, I mean, if there was the leaderboards and stuff for this, I'm assuming there's probably some which is like you can't use these sorts of, like there's some speedruns where you're allowed to use exploits, and then there's other speedruns where you're not allowed to use any exploits. Right? Yeah, exactly. Glitchless runs, exactly. So you just, if you're happy to use exploits, you just are assigned to that leaderboard. And if you don't want to use exploits, you do a glitchless run. So you can say it's cheap, but then everyone else that's also doing the speed run is also going to be using those exploits. So it's like a level playing field. Whereas the other one, you don't. So whatever board you're on a level playing field with anyone else. Right? Like people do like weird, like walk into the back of a wall and you get transported through the level and shit like that.
Dark Viper was determined to be the first person to beat this challenge. He would start posting his attempts to YouTube, and he would get very close to completing it multiple times, like this attempt, where he was 10 hours into the run and managed to make it to the second last mission. But again, this is a no-hit challenge.
It's funny, I'm actually really calm, because I sincerely think I'm gonna fail. You guys believing you're just gonna get let down.
Am I crazy, or does Dark Viper seem so much more relaxed and affable here? What happened to this guy? Dude, what happened to this dude? Bro, he has one copyright drama with me, and he loses his fucking mind, dude.
That was literally frame perfect.
No.
Told ya. That shot's literally impossible. That shot has never happened before in the history of me running this game.
Bro, he's so calm. He's so calm here, isn't he?
Those guys do not target Trevor in that corner.
Relaxed.
I have practiced that hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of times. I've never seen that even once. Tomorrow is a new day, true, of the game cheating me from victory.
Dude.
It's impossible to put into perspective
Why
just
is he spurging out? Well, I think there's other times he did. Maybe he was just particularly relaxed at this one. You know?
how hard this challenge really is. Meticulously going through all 69 main missions while minimizing your risk more and more as the runtime goes past 10 hours, just to potentially lose everything to a single bullet, bad RNG, or even a bug with the game. It seemed as though the difficulty of the challenge was starting to settle in. After over a year of attempts, Dark Viper's determination would start to dwindle, with countless runs ending from stuff that was sometimes out of his control.
No.
Fair enough. The jump was fine, it was just because there were containers down there. I gotta be more careful. You have no conception of how much extra effort I put in to every single frame of this run to avoid failure. You have no idea. There are literally hundreds of strategies that you don't notice that I have to do.
So is this a thing with Dark Viper? He's gotten worse over time? Because there's people in my chat that are like, oh, I used to watch him back here. So you used to watch this guy? And I'm assuming you don't anymore because he's a weird freak now. I mean, I've got some sympathy. I do genuinely. It's probably fucking annoying to deal with this. But like, you know, it's just a game at the end of the day. It's just a game. And you got to laugh it off. I think the best streamers that do speedrunning are the ones that can have a laugh about it and just, you know, that sort of thing. I think this is probably okay. This isn't that crazy. But if you're like spurging out and stuff, I mean, you probably just got to chill a little bit.
Because I failed in different ways before. I'm so over this. I've been over this for months.
And it was starting to seem like the GTA community would never see this challenge finished. But out of completely nowhere in May of 2021, a video was posted by a completely unknown name to the GTA community, and he was claiming that he had done the impossible, beating Dark Viper and becoming the first person in the world to complete GTA 5 without taking damage. And that runner was unnamed.
Dude, no wonder he got so pissed off. Some 8K sub YouTuber beat him to the punch. That's got to smart. That has got too smart, guys. Oof. Oof. Vaporized.
The community was in shock. A name that no one had ever heard of came out of nowhere and became the first person in the world to complete the hardest run in GTA history. He wasn't even a speedrunner, just someone like us who played a bit of GTA Online starting in 2019. But after getting inspired from watching Dark Viper's attempts, Unnamed started practicing the strats, and he even developed some of his own. Unnamed completed the run in just 9 hours and 3 minutes, and it only took him a total of 48 attempts. But what's even more impressive is that Unnamed didn't even use the controversial alt strat when beating it, simply because his PC couldn't handle 110 FPS.
No way, dude! So he didn't even use that cheap glitch. Ooh. Oof. Bro, he's got to go into all the drama with Dark Viper, surely. Come on, dude. No, he's not going to go into all the fucking drama with Dark Viper. Dude, Dark Viper spurged out like crazy over this. I think the coverage of that is on my channel somewhere.
Congratulations poured in from the community for Unnamed's run. Even news outlets and other gaming communities that had no affiliation with GTA showed their support for this massive gaming accomplishment.
It was very embarrassing, yes. Very embarrassing. Because if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure that he got really mad at the idea that Unnamed had like used his strats or something like that, right? Okay, if this guy's not going to do it, what is there a video that goes over his reaction to this that I can quickly show? Because I feel like we're missing the full story if we don't actually show Dark Viper's response to this. That is actually disappointing. I feel like you're missing a big part of the story there. Okay. Well, it's like, it's Discord and stuff. It's a bit complicated. It's not just like a video that he did. Dark Viper Unnamed. Okay, obviously Matto's video is going to be full of shit. I think this is it, isn't it?
Hello everyone, I am back with yet another video.
Excuse this, but you get the
This
gist.
situation has snowballed because of DarkViperAU, and I want to go into detail and delve into how he acts and reacts to situations. This video is different from the other past videos because I will be talking about clips in detail and giving criticism where I feel it is deserved.
Not responding to chat, so he's basically just playing a fucking video for all intents and purposes.
As I had mentioned before, and if you watched Unnamed streams you would see he actively interacts with people and isn't hostile to people with other opinions.
but he's gonna complete a live run. People are gonna send me more shit. They're gonna lie even more, and that's gonna fuck with me. So I'm like, look, I gotta do more runs then, because to stave off this wave of abuse I'm gonna receive.
He keeps saying he has to do more runs, but he doesn't realize it takes a lot of practice and time in the later missions to stand a chance. He also mentions he will get abused, but he himself is actively lying about unnamed who has not said anything bad about him.
But I don't want to do this. I don't want to change my life because of one fuckwit on the internet who wants to fuck with me. And like on one...
Oh, okay, that's going to be a better way of doing it. Is it timestamped? Is it timestamped? Is it timestamped? Is it timestamped?
2024. And
Snake Eyes, Professional Victim. No. Must be his other video that he did, no?
Dark Viper is a GTA.
Aim to Fame. Never Wound a Snake. Okay, if anyone's got a timestamp, let me know. Because this video is kind of obnoxious. Here's a good video. What is this?
Just before this video begins, I need to preface that this video was purely made in good faith. Now, I don't expect you to take my word for it just yet, but I hope you'll see that throughout this video, I am not approaching this topic with any malice nor hatred. Quite the opposite, in fact.
I'm
a big fan of Dark Viper's content. He sort of pioneered a renaissance in GTA content, which was sadly dying for a while, and that can only be commended. I actually do like Dark Viper quite a bit. For the most part, he is an amazing content creator, but that's why this video has to be made. Because of how good Dark Viper can be, it's painful to see him be this bad. Now, what bad am I talking about? Well, we need to explore the OCO, or one-hit knockout run drama, that has occurred over the past month or so, and talk about Dark Viper's part to play in it. Once again, this video is purely meant to be in good faith, and I know that Dark Viper has been more than capable of analysing situations objectively rather well in the past. And if you ever were to see this video,
this is starting to sound a bit like a Cyberboy video.
would hope he would.
I hope he doesn't start crying and talking about topping himself at the end.
Try to listen to my points in good faith, just as I have listened.
Bro, there's no subtitles. It's on PreserveTube. I guess you're just raped if you don't understand.
To his, and I'm now responding to them in good faith. This also goes for any fans of his. I implore you to fully listen to the video before coming to a conclusion. I think that's a perfectly fair request to make. In short, I'm not trying to tear him down. I'd never want that. I simply want one of my favourite creators to see where he has went wrong and possibly do better in the future.
Why was it taken
Of all
down?
that being said, during the Yoko drama, Dark Viper has been massively hypocritical, outright slanderous, and his behaviour has been completely uncalled for. And I think he's deservedly lost a lot of people's respect, mine included. Now, I fully intend on qualifying these claims in this video, so you'll have that to look forward to. But without further ado, let's get into the video.
Okay.
Now, before we begin, let's do a little rundown of the entire drama. OCO, as stated before to mean one-hit knockout, is where players attempt a challenge run in a game in which, as the name would suggest, the player completes said game without taking a single hit or point of damage. And if you do, you have to completely restart and attempt the run again. This is a concept that has been popular for as long as games have had damage to be taken in, and this very run has been attempted in other games such as From Software's Soulsborne series, in games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. This was the very first time I had personally seen this concept done on YouTube. However, now we need to get onto the man in question. DarkViperAU is a GTA 5 speedrunner and content creator who picked up and began playing GTA 5 under this rule set in March of 2020. And he has been attempting this run ever since, up until the recording of this video. In fact, over a year since the first initial video exploring the idea of this run. Through his series, he began popularising it and pioneering it for this game, and as a result, it led to his OCO series becoming pretty successful, with his OCO YouTube playlist amassing over 10 million views, with each video averaging at around 300,000 views. Pretty good, right? Better yet, it's one of the most entertaining series on YouTube. The OCO run of GTA 5 is a lot harder than most other games, with the exception of a few, and it truly is a monumental hurdle to overcome. Initially, Dark Viper completed the game under this rule set, dying or getting hit 180 times, and over the months he has whittled this number down to just a single death, which is a number he has yet to surpass, meaning he has never completed the OCO run fully, front to back.
By the way, this is obviously an old video. I think he has since done it, right? I think he's since done the OCO run.
without taking a single hit. As of recent, he got the closest to completing the run ever, with him getting to the second to last mission of the entire game. The last mission, in fact, with any combat or any sort of danger in. Now, this run started out as a light-hearted attempt at completing a fun challenge run. A speedrunner who has mastered every other aspect of the single player, attempting a difficult run such as this was bound to create some great moments. And it did, for a while. However, as the months dragged by and the runs kept on failing and failing, DarkViper's attitude towards the run began to grow a lot more cynical, a lot more harsher, shall we say.
It's funny, I'm actually really calm, because I sincerely think I'm gonna fail. Guys, believing you're just gonna get let down. Don't.
And fair enough, I imagine attempting a run for this long will take a toll on anyone, especially given he has fans that want to see him finally get over the finish line. However, fans did get to see the Oko run completed, just not as they first anticipated.
No!
And this is where the drama and issues began.
No. Vipes! Vipes! No, Vipes! You failed!
Now, as I stated previously, Oko was indeed beat, but not by DarkViper. Another person by the name of unnamed, completed the full Oko run and uploaded it to his channel in 3 parts. This sort of changed things. Firstly, DarkViper could definitively never be the first to complete the Oko run, which is a huge sticking point we'll get into. And, more importantly, Unnamed was now under the spotlight from multiple different sources. I was first made aware of Unnamed's accomplishment by an article written by PC Gamer, who talks about his 47 previously unsuccessful...
Bro, that must have stung DarkViper's ego so hard. Seeing all of these bloody articles getting written about it. Oh, look, this unnamed guy did it first. I mean, if they probably didn't even mention DarkViper.
Attempts, as well as sharing the link to Unnamed's run on his YouTube channel. Now, this is where DarkViper comes into play. Unnamed, reportedly, first expressed his accomplishment by sharing it on DarkViper's official Discord server, in which, after a short while, he was mysteriously banned soon after with no reason given. That's odd, and others seem to agree. It seems completely unfair.
Thank you. Hey, I'm Drama Batman. Thank you. I'm Batman. Thank you for the super chat.
To ban someone from a Discord server for A, not breaking any of said server's rules, and B, with no reason given. A post was made on the r/livestreamfail subreddit, which initially gave a summary of Unnamed's accomplishment and the following backlash from DarkViper, referencing Unnamed's previously stated ban and a nice little comment posted by DarkViper regarding Unnamed's achievement. Now, to spare you the trouble of listening to my incredibly irritating voice, I'll post the entire comment on screen now and point out the most important bits of it, and paraphrase for
Oh my god, dude. Well, you notice a DarkViper comment.
your convenience. If you think I'm saying anything that's incorrect about this post, or you believe my interpretation of these events to be unfounded or unfair, please let me know in the comments to correct me. I wouldn't want to get anything wrong, and if you believe I have, be sure to call me out on it. I don't want an echo chamber. But to get on with it, you can see here that DarkViper talks about his output of information regarding strats of the Oko run vastly outweighs anyone else, and that's true, he is in fact right here. He has contributed to the run more than anyone else, but an important point he fails to mention here, one that shouldn't be forgotten, is the fact he's also the one that has benefited the most from the Oko run. He hasn't shared strats out of the kindness of his heart. This is a series that has amassed over 10 million views in total on YouTube alone, and from doing...
Yeah, it's just a meme that I post essays in the DM. Dude, it's so true, man. So true. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously... It's very clear his nose was put out of joint. He had an ego over it. And, you know, he couldn't hack it, and that's why he spurged out like this. You know, even if you're hurt by this, this is a, well done, mate. Fuck, you got me, dude. Damn, I can't believe someone beat me to it. That's crazy. And then you move on. Whereas this just makes it clear that your ego's bruised by the fact some fucking literal no-name person has come along and done it.
This, it has significantly benefited his career. This isn't a bad thing, nor am I meant to imply any negative connotations. This is the default state for anyone on YouTube, or any similar platform. You post content to a platform where people can view it to gain views. It's as simple as that. You can perhaps say he could have went for more favourable and fruitful pursuits over Oko, and you may be right, but he has significantly benefited from him sharing his strats and runs regardless. He is acting as if this one-sided sharing of information is putting him at a loss, that because he took on this burden, this need to be entertaining, he is worse off for doing so, when that demonstrably and objectively isn't the case. He still has the views, the majority of the fans, and the money he gained from sharing this information.
It was hard enough to do these runs, knowing I was at somewhat of a disadvantage because of my illness and that I need to be entertaining. Galling knowing that anyone running against me was getting double the information I was. Because every failure I had was his benefit, and every failure he had was not my benefit. It's like standing on my shoulders to win and then saying thank you to the guy I'm standing on. We don't both benefit from that situation.
He isn't given information about Oko at a loss. He is at a disadvantage when considering completing the run first, yes, but this was his choice to make when he took up the burden of entertaining you and massively growing his channel in.
Also, there's a massive like skill issue point as well here. You didn't do the run for fucking ages, bro. You took, what was it, a year or something? You took fucking ages to do it. You didn't even do it. You took ages failing. So of course someone might eventually come along and go, oh, well, I'm going to give that a go, and then be better than you and beat you.
From doing Oko, and of course, as a result of that, sharing his strats. In short, he wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to be the first to beat Oko above all else, but he also wants the benefit of streaming Oko. He chose to sacrifice the potential of beating Oko first, in favour of growing his streaming and YouTube career. And as a result, someone beat it first. This was his decision to make. He chose to set this priority. Nobody forced him to do this. Yet he's now complaining about the consequences of his decision he made when he knew the potential consequences. To extend off this further and talk about something that...
Yeah, if you're here for the pirate drama, I'm just a palate cleanser. I actually had to skip from another video because I didn't go into the detail that I wanted it to. And then we'll do the pirate video after this, okay?
Absolutely irritates me to no end is where Dark Viper talks about Unnamed not having the same distractions and obligations he had over Dark Viper, which enabled him to complete his run, which is something that's absolutely insulting given you don't know Unnamed's personal situation in the slightest. You don't know whether he has the same distractions or similar obligations, yet you make that claim regardless. But beyond that, Dark Viper can stream and attempt Oko as much as he desires. This is his job. He has no external factors outside of the oh so troubling task of being a streamer. Well,
yes, dude, he's literally streaming it, making money off of it. God, it's so crazy that this is pure ego driven. Pure ego driven. It's not a fucking pie where, you know, him doing it takes away from your pie. All it does is he's done it first. But you still got a massive fucking portions of pie to eat because you're getting paid shitloads of money for this on YouTube, on Twitch.
Whilst streaming his Oko run. Now that's not to discredit Dark Viper in any way. I imagine streaming can take a toll on anyone, but to discredit whatever Unnamed may personally have going on in his own life, such as a job that had,
oh no, I had to stream while I did it. It was unfair.
you know, not allow him to attempt Oko all day, or other responsibilities such as school, college, or anything else that prevent Unnamed from being able to attempt Oko whenever he wants, just like you can. I get that you may have issues that hinders your attempts to complete Oko that you don't want discredited to Dark Viper. But how about you stop being hypocritical and grant everyone the same level of courtesy that you want given to yourself? But if we continue, we can see him talk about his biggest issue with Unnamed, the idea of quote-unquote hoarding strats.
To have all of my strategies stolen, and none of that being reciprocated, obviously I'm not going to like this person. A person steals...
Oh, I think this wasn't even true. I think that Unnamed did share strats, if I recall correctly. Spoiler alert.
Steals everything that I've developed for so long, makes improvements, feels no desire to make me aware of these improvements. He hoards these strategies specifically so he can beat me, and I'm meant to like this person? Imagine that.
What Dark Viper means by this is that
you don't have to like him, okay? It's about having a bit of grace and not showing that your ego is obviously bruised because you're an obnoxious little freak.
Unnamed used the ideas of a solved run made by him and made certain optimizations to complete the run, whilst never disclosing the fact he made them to Dark Viper, saying that if this were in a speedrunning context, he would be ostracized and disparaged by everyone in the community. Now, I can't comment on the validity of this claim since I'm not a speedrunner, but luckily for me, I don't really have to. Semantics regarding a speedrunning context aside, the point is, I imagine, is that keeping a strat or strats to yourself to gain a world record or world first is wrong. Let's break this down a little and the issues surrounding this. First and foremost, the most important factor here is that Unnamed has said that he did in fact share his strats to Dark Viper, sharing 2 of note in Dark Viper's.
Yeah, bro, what I shared 2 strats, Nervous Road Biker's bug and Cop Car despawn on Dual Store. He barely tested the first one and skipped the second. I had almost none contribution to himself, but I barely chatted. But if he doesn't want me around, fine. Be banned, I'll be. No point in boasting about it anymore. Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'll tell you what that is. That's more of Dark Viper's ego. I've been doing this for a year. Why do I need this fucking loser to tell me what's what? So fucking obvious, dude. Oh, most people... How's it going, DK? Most people listening with World's first run will have new strats to be shown with the run itself. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. But in any case, he did share strats. And Dark Viper's ego probably prevented him from actually looking at them and taking them seriously. And to be honest, maybe he should have done. Maybe he should have done, you know?
Discord, and more specifically and vastly more importantly, in the Facts and Glitches channel. Now, why is this important? Firstly, of course, the whole premise of DarkViper's issue with Unnamed is the fact he reportedly did in fact do what DarkViper said he didn't. And secondly, if we go over to the Facts and Glitches channel and the tab it's situated under, there is something important to note here. The Facts and Glitches channel is in fact hidden from the eyes of the general members. Only DarkViper and his moderation team can view this channel. Now this content submissions tab, in which the Facts and Glitches is placed under, is a place where you can share information for DarkViper's various series, such as the aforementioned Facts and Glitches series for new ideas related to Chaos Mod and questions related to the story. And just to point out, there isn't actually a place on DarkViper's
Yeah, dude, the more I
Discord
think about it as well, DarkViper wants to benefit from broadcasting the speedrun by getting paid to do so, getting super chat support, whatever fucking bits, etc., right? So he wants to financially benefit from it, but then complains that people take his strats. Well, that's just the nature of you publicly broadcasting it, is people are going to do that. And if that was your primary concern of doing it first, well, you're going to have to do it off stream and take the hit on the money that you don't make doing it, you know? He wants it all. He wants to be able to do it first, to not share these strats, apparently. Greedy Guts Matto strikes again.
Post and share new Oko strats with him, which is weird given how desperately he supposedly wanted them. But whatever. The Facts and Glitches channel was there, and Unnamed posted his strats to it. But now, if you look in the README section, you can see this post from one of DarkViper's mods. Message history is hidden for these channels to A, discourage chatting in these channels, and most importantly, B, to prevent other people from seeing the information, strats or otherwise, before DarkViper can personally benefit from it in a future video. Now that's pretty weird. So as stated in your moderator's comment, which had to be approved by you, you're trying to reduce the number of people that can see it before it's released in a future DarkViper video, where of course you are the only solely benefiter from said information.
It's an issue of hypocrisy. A person who wants to hoard strategies for their own personal gain in challenge runs and speedrunning are people you shouldn't associate with.
I mean, come on, the language here is explicit. You're actively trying to reduce people.
Bro! Got him! Ooh, unlucky Matto. Unlucky Matto! You just got raped, bro. Unlucky.
From seeing this information before you can use it and benefit from it. Why is it fine for you to do this whilst criticising Unnamed for, under your false assumption may I add, hoarding ideas for his personal benefit, when he did in fact share these ideas in a place where, ironically enough, you hoard ideas until you can personally benefit from it? This is absolutely insane. Perhaps you can say this isn't equivalent since viewers choose to give DarkViper this information freely, right? Well, who does that remind you of? Who else gives out this information freely? Alright, it's DarkViper. He gives information out whilst he's quote-unquote burdening himself with growing his streaming career and providing entertainment and profiting off you, the viewer, who, might I add, he considers a burden. What a nice warm feeling inside to know that your favourite content creator considers making content for you a burden.
By the way, why did this video get taken down? Did the guy that made it take it down himself? I don't think I've seen this before. I did cover a lot of Matto's past because it was funny, but I don't know.
He preferred to satisfy his ego of being the first to complete a challenge run in car shooter game. Absolutely incredible. 10 out of 10. Now let me lay you down a hypothetical situation regarding this Discord channel. Let's say I post a strat that could potentially complete Oko to this channel. Now, only DarkViper and his mods can see it, but the thing is, nobody but him can use this information since, as stated previously, this information will only be first shown on DarkViper's videos or on
If I recall correctly, it was unlisted, but privated when the KF thread was made. I see, okay, interesting.
Stream if we're talking about Oko. Now, if DarkViper does indeed complete Oko because of a user-suggested strat he hoarded in his Discord channel that he specifically tried to reduce the number of people from seeing until he could use it, would DarkViper be given the same level of criticism Unnamed has been given? Would he be ostracized in the same way? And not to mention, this is completely a false accusation given Unnamed did in fact share his strats. But the thing is, this still remains a possibility as of the recording of this video. This channel is still hidden, and any strat suggested is still hoarded until it's used by DarkViper, and the free sharing of those ideas is still actively discouraged, as in their own words, they're still trying to reduce the number of people from seeing it before it gets used by DarkViper.
I do love you guys. I do love you guys. I love all of you. I love all of you equally. Especially when you give me money. We're chilling today, okay? You all got any more than kicks, super chats, bits, subs?
In the video, he hasn't fixed this blatant hypocrisy. He hasn't fixed the fact that he could potentially hoard a strat until he beats Oko with it, which is what he has criticised Unnamed for. Absolutely, just absolutely amazing. Let me just pull up a relevant clip for a second here.
You disingenuous, dense motherfucker.
Now, maybe he's saying that there is no proof that Unnamed shared his strats, and that is something that I should perhaps concede. Well, the issue here is that Well, he did. If you go into Unnaved's channel and you see the pinned comment in the first part of his completed Oko run, you can see that Unnamed has provided an image showing that he did indeed share these strats with DarkViper, meaning that either DarkViper was willingly aware of the fact that Unnamed did share his strats and lied about not doing so, which led to insane harassment from DarkViper's fanbase directly caused because of him, or he didn't realise the fact that Unnamed had shared them with him, and instead of checking whether to see he actually did or not, he decided to say that he didn't share them regardless, not caring to check and validate his potentially harmful words. Either way, this isn't good from Dark.
Diminished Art, hey! Diminished Art, thanks for the super sticker. Shiba Dog squeezing a big red heart. Thank you for that, thank you.
Viper. If this happened to him, he'd be rightfully calling it out. Yet here, he is somehow considered a victim, when DarkViper is most certainly not that. And beyond this though, DarkViper has banned Unnamed from his Discord channel, meaning any proof that he did share would have been deleted. And beyond that, the proof that he did in fact share in the Facts and Glitches channel has been hidden by DarkViper. Now this kinda reminds me of something that DarkViper said about Friendly Baron. What was it?
His next step, of course, he blocked me on Twitter and blocked a lot of people on Twitter, because if you're going to lie and spin something to your audience, it'd be very inconvenient if people who could contradict you can actually see what you're going to say.
Oh, that's right. You may say that you've
Unlucky
banned
Macho,
Unnamed
you're
from
own.
Discord for personal reasons, but the thing is, I'm assuming you probably wouldn't give that same courtesy to Friendly Baron, who has blocked you from his Twitter. The thing is, when it's with you, it's a matter of I should have the right to associate with the people I choose. But when someone else does the exact same thing, it's a matter of, well, you're trying to lie and spin something to your audience. But the thing is, I just want to say to you, Mr. Viper AU, that if you're going to lie and spin something to your audience, it would indeed be very inconvenient if people who could contradict you could actually see what you're going to say. But perhaps there is another reason why you don't like Unnamed. Perhaps he was bragging about beating Oko. Perhaps he has, in your own words, taken glee in the fact you haven't been left alone. So,
Watching him brag. He was bragging. He was bragging, dude. The Kai crime of bragging.
DarkViper, I'm sure you have sufficient evidence to, back up your pretty serious claims against Unnamed's character, right? What's this? He didn't show proof of anything at all. He just said it and expected people to believe him. Oh, come on, what the fuck? No, I don't need to explain why this is, bad, but I'm gonna explain why this is bad. Just for reference, I've had to spend days of my time making sure I got all my references correct, got all my quotes correct, showed proof of everything I was saying, and has all the context I needed to make the conclusions and claims I have. Do you know why? Because I don't have the audience DarkViper does. I can't rely on making conclusions without proof, because I'd be, in all quite honestly, rightfully criticised for not being able to back up my claims. You're using the fact your audience will likely believe anything you say to your advantage, and using that to make conclusions that contradict the evidence. And you use that fact to spin a false narrative about someone you didn't like, because they beat Oko in car shooty game.
Wow. Spin a false narrative about someone he doesn't like. I wonder if he'll ever go on to do that again. Who can say?
Before you, leading to a widespread harassment campaign in your name you seemingly don't care about. I've literally went through Unnamed's entire Reddit
obviously,
history,
I don't agree with the harassment framing, but I think what is being referred to here is DarkViper's community coming en masse to like comment sections and shit like that. So yeah. Hey Pilkington, I'm here even when Chud isn't even here. Based, very based. I'm paying attention to all chats today, guys. You're all getting equal attention.
Public for anyone to view, by the way. And I couldn't find a single comment where what he said could in good faith be perceived as bragging over the fact he had completed this run before you. Now I imagine bragging has a very loose definition when you're angry over the fact that your ego can't be satiated regarding beating Oko first. And this is probably where your idea of unnamed bragging likely comes from. Guess what, Matt? Announcing the fact that he beat Oko in of itself isn't a brag. Talking about beating Oko isn't mocking you. You may falsely perceive it as that through your narrow-minded, biased, self-absorbed, and egotistical lens, but it still isn't mocking nor bragging. Unnamed has made it.
There wasn't any intention for me to beat it before him. It wasn't even targeted at Matt. I cannot predict the future. I never declined usage of his strats, but I also added something of my own. But Matt said he's going to continue doing it and really hope he'll finish it soon. He'll probably get more attention when he completes the run than me. Anyway, thanks.
Explicit that this wasn't what he was doing. But then again, you haven't exactly acted in good faith regarding this entire situation now, have you? Who cares if some pesky facts get in the way of having your feelings validated about losing the first place spot in Oko? From what I can see, Unnamed was simply a fan who wanted to attempt Oko, and just so happened to beat it before you. Hell, Unnamed said he didn't even intend to beat Oko before DarkViper, and that his challenge runs were never targeted at him. Unnamed, throughout the entire Oko drama, has been nothing but cordial and respectful towards DarkViper. despite everything Dark Viper has hailed his way. Hell, in Unnamed's most recent Reddit post, he is still actively helping people complete Oko by giving them information regarding strats in Dark Viper's own Reddit server, which, might I add, largely consists of people that likely hate his guts and have potentially harassed him ever since Dark Viper began baby raging over losing Oko in car shooting game, and he's still choosing to help these people. Dark Viper has outright lied about Unnamed and led a harassment campaign that was created under entirely false pretenses. Dark Viper himself has said that he knew this would happen, but based on his false ideas about Unnamed, he apparently saw it as warranted, given the false narrative he had built in his head dictated Unnamed was deserving of said hate.
Yeah, I know, Jepla. I didn't want to bring it up, because I knew the potential for this person to be attacked by people who like me. But they didn't have the same desire, apparently. I'm getting attacked by half the fucking internet.
What's worse, what shows his true colours and intentions throughout all this, is that Unnamed continues to get harassed, and I have not once seen Dark Viper disavow this harassment campaign that's been spearheaded by himself. What's worse, Dark Viper's continued to talk about the, let's be honest, legitimate criticism he's been receiving as harassment. But when his fans have actually been harassing someone who's been targeted by Dark Viper himself, I guess that's just fine, that can be ignored. Rules for thee, none for me, it seems. But one other issue, one that of course has to be brought up since Dark Viper just must be the first to complete Oko, is the fact of whether or not the run is legit or not in the first place. People brought forward varying degrees of compelling evidence, such as the fact that Unnamed's character's health.
That old Metal Stylist goal, totally dishevelled with a way too low cut tank top, true. Yeah, I mean, I remember this as well. I think there was all these kind of like questions over the run. And I mean, you just know that Dark Viper would have loved it, would have absolutely relished it if there was proof that the run was fake so that he could like gloat about that, you know?
Often go down while sprinting with his stamina at 0, which is something that can happen after extended periods of sprinting in this state, and that the dialogue wasn't matching what plays during a player's first time during a certain mission. Now, to the untrained eye and unobservant player, these may be enough to convince you of the fact that the run has been faked, or name cheated whilst playing it. However, to anyone actually experienced with the game, you know these issues are not issues at all. For example, the sprinting issue isn't valid because the player gets a grace period, where the fact that the stamina is at 0 doesn't take any health while sprinting, meaning you get a little bit of time while sprinting before your health starts to drop. And in regards to the dialogue during this mission, and many others, is in fact randomised, and there actually isn't one set piece of dialogue that plays during the player's first run through of the mission. There was an excellent video made by a fellow content creator by the name of English Ben, alongside Dark Viper's fellow moderators and friends in the official GTA 5 speedrunning Discord, who disprove these claims, and in their own words, find zero evidence that Unnamed's run has been spliced, tampered with, or cheated with in any fashion. Now, I don't intend to use this video as a way of appealing to a higher authority over this matter. I just want it to be known that when put under the harshest of microscopes by the most qualified of people, the run wasn't found to have been illegitimate, and I, for one, respect the opinion of an expert.
We need a Chud San Andreas stream. Chud hard stuck on the BMX tutorial. Well, I think you can all guess why I wouldn't play that game, can't you? Right? You know why.
Over my dumb baby brain any day of the week. But now, of course, back onto Dark Viper himself. Before I conclude, I just want to talk about his conduct on YouTube, because it's been outright embarrassing, and for the most part, it's been getting worse. Every time Dark Viper has gotten himself into these situations, he's progressively gotten more and more aggressive, more and more toxic, and more unreasonable, attacking the person rather than the point. Now, this is pretty funny when it happens to the quartering. I mean, right, look guys, he's saying the funny line. Haha, funny meme. One day begins.
Wait, did he get into drama with the quartering before? From years ago? Because he recently got into drama with the quartering over the Kirk stuff, didn't he?
To say that Courtroom was right in that situation because he wasn't. He just wasn't. But this poor conduct started to unveil its ugly little head out from Dark Viper in this moment. Fast forward a little bit later when he had his beef with Mutahar. He since deleted the videos, but oh man, was he so needlessly and overly aggressive for no reason?
Advocating in a video to stay with that system is so fucking dumb! What is wrong with you? You admit in the video ad revenue is shit, and then you advocate for staying with the same system that they have right now!
He of course realised this, apologised that his conduct was indeed poor.
Yes guys, no gaming stream today. I'm afraid to tell you, as I'm leaving early. I'm part-time now.
And recreated these videos in a more level-headed and rational manner, which is absolutely fair, right? I mean, if you do something wrong, and you acknowledge it and apologise and learn from it, that's all anyone can ask for. but you didn't learn from it, and now we're in this mess, which is arguably your worst yet. What I expect will happen is that Matt will finally think for a little bit once he calms down. He'll realise that he's actually went over the line again, and then apologise, and of course when he creates another one of these dramas because of his poor actions, the cycle will simply just repeat itself all over again. As you can see here, I've created a handy diagram to show you the Dark Viper AU cycle of drama, and it's so accurate, it's scary. Create drama, then say bad thing. Regret saying bad thing. Then, after apologising for saying bad thing, the cycle will repeat on and on and on.
Yo,
now, I shouldn't have to tell anyone this, but when you apologise for something, but then later repeat the same thing you were apologising for, your initial apology is absolutely worthless. Because of course, where you should have learned your lesson...
React harder, bro! Dude! I've been reacting this whole video. React harder? How about react softer? Do you think about that?
You obviously haven't, and you've chosen to continue that behaviour that you had to apologise, and that caused the issue in the first place. But
also, bro, this is like a fucking deleted video at this point. It's like a private video or something that's not archived. So I will react as much as I see fit.
This being said, who's next, Matt? Who is your next target? Is it me? Is it the dog that looks at you the wrong way whilst you're crossing the street? Who deserves your wrath next? Will you be as disingenuous and deceitful and hypocritical with your next target as you have been with Unnamed? You tell me. Now, just before I conclude, there is a big topic I just want to address, and that's Matt's mental health, and how that's possibly affecting his behaviour. I have no doubt in my mind that Matt is suffering through some sort of personal struggle. Matt definitely does need support in this regard, and I wish the best for him to hopefully sort out whatever issues he's having in his personal life. However, with all this being said, mental health issues don't give you a free pass to inflict harm upon others. Your personal issues are an explanation as to why your behaviour is what it is. It doesn't and shouldn't excuse it. This is something as fans especially need to keep in mind too, as I've seen defences such as, this is just what he's like, and he's stressed when presenting criticisms about him. Yes, he may be stressed, but that doesn't excuse him from causing stress and harm to other people. And when people use the awful excuse of, that's just what he's like, I mean, that's incredibly worrying, because if him slandering and insulting fans and leading harassment campaigns against someone based on lies is his actual default mode of operation, then was I led astray thinking Dark Viper was a good guy and a good creator, because I wasn't even close to being under the impression that Dark Viper was this type of person. Which is sad, because despite everything, Dark Viper, when he keeps his conduct in check, is still an amazing content creator. I just hate seeing him fall this far, because for me and many others, we have placed him so high in the rankings of content creators on YouTube. I want the best for him above all else. And if this type of video is the wake-up call he needs, then all the better for it, I say. Whether he needs a long break from streaming, or just to get his head right, I hope he finds whatever he needs to find happiness. And above all else, I sincerely wish him nothing but the best. But with all that being said, despite the subject matter, I hope you have enjoyed. This is Astra, over and out.
That was too nice. Too nice to Dark Viper. Anyway, guys, there we go. That was a little palate cleanser covering an older Dark Viper drama. We're not going to watch the rest of this video. I thought it was going to be more so getting into all the depths of the Dark Viper stuff, but I guess not.